with you, and Robin said this one thing, and he was like, if you're gonna do it at the busiest time, like, we all make excuses of, oh, I can't go to the gym because I 8 classes in the morning, then I can't get home, come cook. And he said this one thing, and it was, if you can find time then, imagine when life gets a little easier. You're not going to be complaining then. So why don't you find time here, do it then when you're the most busiest. And then I was like, well, it's got a point.
I honestly can't take credit for that. So like I do a lot of sales like in my like in my personal life, in my business life, and so this was actually taken from Alex Hormozy. So he says like he has a lot of like really cool nuanced things that I really just take in terms of even the way you phrase something. If you put the negative before the positive or the positive before the negative, because I'll give you a great example. So he talks about like selling gym equipment or whatever, and so he goes, okay, I'm going to give you this, but it's going to cost you that.
Right.
So so the big but is the thing
Price,
the opposition. But if you go the other way around, it's going to cost you this, but you get this, and this. Just that simple flip of narrative of putting the negative thing, because most people, if the price, or you can do anything, you can associate that with anything. Let me try to think of a reason right here.
I actually have a good example. In the business world, one thing I learned is that when you're communicating with somebody, instead of like, let's say they give you an idea and you want to rebuttal off of that idea and like incorporate into it, but you have something like differentiating from what they said, instead of saying like, oh yeah, I like what you're saying, but you say, I like what you're saying, and because you're adding instead of trying to like combat with them in a sense, right? It's all about language.
Just a small vocabulary.
That's the thing. When I just saw this TikTok actually like 2 seconds before we hit record on the cameras here, and it was exactly what Debo said. This guy was trying to sell him a pen, or if it was like, I think it was some sort of a product, and he was saying, oh, your prices are so high. He's like, yes, and I'm giving you the best marketing team. I'm giving you the best this.
100%.
So it's like it takes it from a negative to turns it into a positive.
Well, and it also it gives them a different perspective of they're not stuck in a position of where they feel like there's an ultimatum or a decision they have to make. It's more just like an opportunity is presented in front of them, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to the conversation we had, that was one of the oppositions that he mentioned so many times. People are like, yo, I just don't have time to go to the gym, or I just don't have time for that. And the easiest thing you can just is get them to list out everything they have. Be like, okay, if you could do it now, then you can do you when you have time, which you will never have time, but if you can do it now, then you can do it later. So it was a little sales pitch, and I was very proud when it worked, but I just wanted to let you know that I can't take credit for that. That wasn't me. But it was able to work. But those are just small things that the language really changes.
100%.
Their language really changes.